We're going to be uploading a series of few videos about the Lake County Historical Museum, and before I do that, I want to show that the website we have out here, this is from one of the Sons of Confederate Veterans websites. It's scvcamp741.tripod.com. That's scvcamp741.tripod.com, and you can get information about Lake County's historical significance for Confederate grave markers, and here's you have a Confederate grave marker flag project. So we got honoring Confederate heroes. There's actually a large list of them in there. There's also a lot of different grave marker dedication. So you can actually see there's a lot of information about the Confederate heroes from the past. Remembrance Book is actually what you want to really look at. Remembrance Book 1 and 2, honoring our Confederate ancestors. You can see all the different, there's a lot of different ones actually from Lake County and Florida. So, and Remembrance Book number 2. So these are all stories from veteran stories from Lake County. So Lake County, you know, the statue for Kirby Smith is going to Lake County. It's going to be the museum's now going to be internationally known because of this. It moved from Washington, D.C. But you can see that it's not, so people are saying, why should the statue go to Lake County? Well, Lake County actually has a lot of historical significance for Confederacy. Now, if you want to look at, you know, some of the more, to refute some of the more controversial things, Confederate histories and facts, you can look at these PDFs that are on here. You can view them or download them. Confederate values and principles remain important. 10 real causes of Southern secession. Yankee Union League terrorists during the Reconstruction. Principles and values represented by the Confederate flag. And there's more. You can see this. This is also on that website, so you can just go down and take a look at everything that's in there. Because this is a lot of things are not, the information's very much filtered out through the major media. You're not getting the right information. So this actually is well researched. It's by the commander up in Georgia. I actually put this on the website. So the truth concerning Captain Henry Wirtz, Anderson POW camp. I plan to be up there November 10th too. We'll be filming that. So I never planned on my channel being mainly, well, my channel is basically a hodgepodge of different things, but there is a pretty good contingent of Confederate history on my channel too. So we'll be covering, there'll be some, so I just want to preface the video with this about the museum, and there'd be there's probably going to be 4 clips or something on that. So I was there yesterday and we were inside the Tavares, in Tavares, which is the Lake County Historical Museum, the Lake County Historical Association, because we have the Edmund Kirby Smith statue coming there, and we'll be talking a little bit more about really what Edmund Kirby Smith stood for, General Edmund Kirby Smith stood for. So I think there's a lot of misinformation out there, but this will preface this one clip I have on, you know, just taking a quick tour of some of the artifacts that are in the museum, because the museum is not all about Confederate history. It's about Lake County history, but Confederate history and Lake County history are hand in hand during that period, 1861 to 1865. So it's fair that the statue goes there, and because there is a lot of strong, also in Marion County too. I should say Marion County would be a good spot for the statue, but I guess Lake County got it first. The Lake County Historical Museum in Tavares, and different displays on here. What's coming in here is going to be the General Kirby Smith statue, which I have some documentation on. Actually, he was the only, you know, it has all about all American wars, but he was the only Confederate general to not surrender on both sides. He was actually, early on in the war, he was on the side of the Union, and when Florida seceded, he became Confederate. The statue will be coming in here, and that's going to make this museum world famous because of the controversy. But that's, controversy is welcome. You see a lot of different displays on here. Operation Iraqi Freedom. Anyway, there's a statement about Kirby Smith's statue. We recently learned that Governor DeSantis signed a letter fulfilling. Okay, so by law it must come here, so that's one thing. There's medals from Vietnam. Marine Corps Achievement Medal. That means you stay there and you get shot. Bronze Star, Purple Heart, Silver Star. And you got the World War I 30 caliber ammo box, World War I uniforms. My grandfather would have wore one of those. He was a machine gunner in the 307th Machine Gun Battalion in World War I. He got wounded by a German grenade. So, Buffalo soldiers, these are black soldiers that served in American forces out west, mainly in the 1880s. Josiah T. Watts won the election to Florida's legislation. He became Florida's first African American member of the U.S. House of Representatives and was re-elected for 2 additional terms. Occupation of Pensacola Bay. A small force of Union troops was stationed in Pensacola. 5 federal legislation. So this was about during the time of the war between the states. Pensacola Bay was taken over by the Yankees. And here we have this is a 3-band infield, percussion cap infield, largely used by the Confederates. Get your Confederate loans and Confederate money, drummers. General Robert Edward Lee, Appomattox Courthouse. Painting of it anyway. So, Swamp Fox. This is the one I'm real. No, it's another Swamp Fox. This is related to Francis Marion Swamp Fox. This is Captain John Jackson Dixon, West Virginia. Swamp Fox of the Confederacy. A lot of Confederate history in here. Reunion in Oxford, Florida. It's not far from me, 1916. United Daughters of Confederacy featuring Lake County, 1934. And there's actually a web link I'll put on there where the Confederate soldiers that fought in Lake County. And I'll put that link over here at the end of this video so you can see it. Also, I'll splice it in. You can see where it is. It's got a lot of history on Lake County, Florida. Some people think, oh, there's not much Confederate history in Lake County. There is a lot. Oh, this is Korean War. 1953, 50-53. My father was in that. Also in Germany too. And Albert D. Wright, Medal of Honor recipient. Civil War, or war between the states, or war of Yankee aggression. Okay, so this is during the Battle of Crater Petersburg campaign, Captain Albert D. Wright, colored troops, fearlessly led his men through enemy lines, capturing the Confederate colors and 5 prisoners. That was one historical event that happened back then. And General Charles Pellet Summerall, distinguished Floridian resident of Lake County, Chief of Staff, United States Army. So there's a lot of history in Lake County. Actually, I think there's more in Marion County where I'm from, but we'll get to that pretty soon.
Y'all can't cry.